Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox from Doctor's Nutrition.
Yeah.
I knew I'd get caught up trying to talk too fast one day. Doctor's Nutrition, located on Cal and Lorraine Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. This is a live show that we do every Monday morning. We usually have a topic that we talk about and then invite you to call in on our phone lines at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. This is toll free. And you would just pass your question along to our producer, and they will pass it along to us. And now, even if your question is about something not even linked to the topic of the day, please feel free to call in. But we're talking about something today that usually a lot of time the first part of the year, New Year, people think about doing, which I'm doing the no drink January thing.
Okay.
And I've been doing very well with that over the past several days. But we're talking about detoxification, and it's not only just detoxification from your body from alcohol, but there's other stuff too. What is detoxification?
Well, obviously detoxification is getting rid of all the toxic stuff we've ingested, we breathe in, however we get it, exposed to. So that's what detoxification is about, getting those toxic elements out of our body. And, let's face it, we just went through Christmas, the holiday season, and people are eating and being exposed to a lot of things that they don't usually get exposed to, or maybe not as much.
Eating a lot that they don't normally eat, and
right?
Like way too much sugar, way too much alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is the holidays can make people say, "Oh, well, it's the holidays," and that's what we find is that people make it's a good excuse. So they do a lot of things they normally don't do. And then, so that's why we decided to do the show about how to detoxify after the holidays.
Trying to get yourself back on track.
Yes.
Exactly. Because we really do need to do that, get back on track, kind of get these toxins out of our body, because toxic stuff in our body is an extra load on our metabolism that we really don't need. I mean, it slows down the liver function, because the liver's got to try to deal with this stuff. It slows down your gut, which most people don't pay much attention to that. They say, well, I got to do something for my liver. Well, yeah, you do. But at the same time, you got to do something for your GI tract and your microbiome. That's the gut. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of it that's overlooked, and that's a big piece of it.
Yeah, we talk about probiotics a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And people think of probiotics as just digestion and maybe just for the gut, but there's so much out there how it's linked to the brain function. And there's no doubt it's linked to detoxification. Mm-hmm. You have to have probiotics in order to carry toxins away from the liver and keep toxins from getting to the liver. Mm-hmm. So the probiotics are a huge thing for a lot, and increasing the immune system. And right now in January, with everything that's going around, that's a good idea.
It really is. This has been a terrible season, really, from the start of the holiday season up to today. It's been horrible. We've seen a lot of flu B, a lot of strep. We've just
COVID's still out there.
COVID's still out there.
I heard there's a new strain out there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's always going to be a new strain.
So the thing is people are getting sick more than ever, and when you have more of a toxic burden, it makes you more likely to get sick.
Yeah, I think the big thing that, of course, we always talk about, rule number one of detoxification: stop putting toxins in. So, okay, this holiday season's over. You kind of had your fill, hopefully, of goodies and things like that, and probably won't have that again until next year, most likely, or maybe have a birthday party.
I don't know, Mardi Gras is coming up.
Mardi Gras,
boy,
that's
yeah,
true.
buddy.
We got
around here.
All the Mardi Gras balls that we have on the coast.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of so that's kind of a problem. But probably the main thing that people can do for detoxification, obviously stop putting toxins in. And the second thing is lots of good, clean water.
Yeah, hydrate.
Stay well hydrated, because if you think about a lot of the toxic material that our liver tries to make it water soluble, so it can go out either through the kidneys, through the urine, or some of that, even the water soluble stuff, will wind up in the colon, going out through the feces, and so will the fat soluble stuff. And there's a lot of the stuff that we're exposed to, a lot of toxins, wind up being fat soluble. So it's real important to keep this GI tract going. Make sure you got enough water to flush out the kidneys, keep that going, keep that liver function going. Because what average person doesn't realize, I talk to them all the time about it, I said, you realize the average adult liver processes about 1.5 liters of blood every 60 seconds. That's
Wow.
every minute. So you got a lot of stuff going on there. It makes DuPont look like a child's chemistry set. I mean, it really does. I mean, truly. I mean, when you start getting into the biochemistry that goes on in our liver, I mean, seriously, DuPont looks like, yeah, that's child's play. Seriously. So it takes some really good water, other nutrients and so on too.
That's one of the things that, again, when I started the detox thing last week, first of the year, is increasing my intake of water, because I really was bad about that. Not drinking a lot of water.
A lot of people are.
So,
Most people are.
but yeah,
And coffee don't count. People
No.
think drinking a lot of coffee is drinking a lot of water, and yes, there's water in it, but the caffeine makes it dehydrating, so it dehydrates you.
Yeah, it gives you a
It acts
diuresis
as a
effect.
diuretic,
Right,
and so
yeah.
you're getting rid of the fluid instead of hydrating.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count. You want water. Yeah, because
Which
people
clear-
think if they just do fluids, and then if you're doing tons of juice, you're getting lots of sugar. So you need water.
Yeah, you know, we get a lot of that juice thing. If you take an orange, okay, and eat an orange, you're not really getting that much sugar. You're getting some, no doubt about it, but you're also getting some of the fibers and things like that, so it's not near as bad. Let's take that same orange. Actually, we're going to take several of them, because it's going to take quite a few of them to actually make a glass of orange juice. So a lot of people start out, well, I have orange juice for breakfast. I'm going to tell you to stop, because an 8-ounce glass of orange juice, you might as well drink a soft drink, you know, Coke, Pepsi, whatever, you know, same amount of sugar. That's scary. I mean, when you
Wow.
think about that much sugar and something.
yeah, because you always think that oranges are good for you.
Well, yeah, well, oranges are.
If
They
you
can
get all
be.
the fiber, but you don't have any fiber when it comes to the juice. Now you get the ones that say they have the pulp, and the pulp gives you a little bit, but it's still broken down so much that it's not like the normal state of the fiber.
Right.
So you definitely, if you're going to do fruit, you want to eat your fruit. You do not want to drink your fruit.
Right.
And the
No.
best fruits to eat.
Best fruits to eat, apples and berries are probably your best bet.
And especially the berries have a lot of
Berries have a lot of antioxidants.
A lot of antioxidants, which we need for this detoxification thing.
Right.
So, you know, if we're trying to load up and get to that detoxification thing, all right, we want to stop the packaged processed foods, increase those antioxidants like the berries and so on. We're on the right track.
All right. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're talking about detoxing this morning. Our phone lines are open at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Well, if you have any questions, please feel free to pick up the phone and give us a call. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. 9 minutes after 9 o'clock, we're talking about detoxing and the importance of it. What are some warning signs that you need to detox?
Actually getting sick a lot,
There's a lot, yeah.
headaches.
Headaches are, you know, a lot
Headaches
of
are a
people,
big one.
yeah, headaches are probably one of the biggies for a lot of folks, headaches. Honestly, constipation.
Yeah.
I was going to say stomach issues, things
Stomach,
like
well, all kind of stomach issues, whether it be diarrhea or constipation. And a lot of people wind up with a lot of the toxic stuff, wind up being very constipated. Because a lot, you know, and then.
And on the other hand, being constipated definitely toxifies you, because you can't get rid of your toxins. And the way the liver works is it has two different phases. It has phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. You have phase 1 that gathers toxin, and you have phase 2 that gets rid of toxins. If you gather a bunch of toxins and then you don't get rid of it, then you reabsorb it, and then it goes through the liver all over again. So constipation keeps those toxins in the body, and then the body reabsorbs the toxins, and so you're constantly fighting those toxins. So being constipated is something we tell people you definitely want to get something for that. And what we use a lot for constipation, we do have a probiotic that's 100 billion, and it definitely has a specific probiotic in it that actually helps with constipation. So that's a really good one, and making sure you get plenty of fiber. So.
Yeah, fiber is real important,
Yeah.
and the soluble fibers especially.
I remember back up to about 4 years ago, I would have occasional stomach issues or whatever and all that. And finally, I got on the Flora 50B
Right.
on a daily basis, probiotic. Been doing great.
Yeah, I mean,
Doing
it's
great.
You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's got a lot in it, 50 billion." When you think about the number of bacteria and stuff in our digestive tract, in our system, somewhere in a 10 to 14 trillion. Okay, so a few 100 billion is nothing really compared to, you know, and when you start talking about a trillion.
Right.
So it's really takes something like that 50 billion. people ask, I say usually 50 billion is a good way to start. You know,
Yeah.
you can go from there and you can go up. You know, we've got them all the way up to 350 billion colony forming units per dose.
Yeah, that dose is real strong. It's kind of made for if somebody's taking an antibiotic or something, and
Right.
you really need a high dose in order to reestablish your probiotics, or somebody
Right.
with severe stomach issues. We have them up to 350.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can get probiotics at all
A lot of people don't understand that whenever you're taking antibiotics, that's kind of killing everything.
Yep, it kills off them,
everything.
yeah.
In a lot of cases, right. Except some, it'll knock down the bad guys. For instance, the fungi, candidas, things like that. It'll knock them down. Might kill them for a day or two, or knock them back at least. But then when you stop that antibiotic, they've got a head start on the good guys. So they jump up, and that's when you start getting the yeast infections. That's when you start having all the fungal infections.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because your antibiotics only knocked them down a little bit, and it killed off all the really
If
beneficial.
you do take an antibiotic, there is a spore probiotic that you can take that antibiotics don't tend to kill. And so it's called Megaspore, and you take that while you're on an antibiotic to keep it to where it doesn't colonize the way your other, and you still need to replace your bacteria when you finish, but it keeps you from having a problem while you're on it.
Right.
All right, we got a caller with a question. What is the best probiotics for women?
We've got several that are specifically for the female.
Right.
And it's because some are more beneficial, say, to vaginal health, et cetera. And so we've got those formulas, and there's a variety of them. When we start looking at probiotics, the number of beneficial bacteria that we know of now is in the literally up in the millions.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of them, that we know that certain ones are, say, beneficial for certain areas and so on. But then 2 weeks from now, I promise you, somebody will come out with some research that's very good, and they'll come out with this research saying, what we thought 2 weeks ago probably isn't true anymore. We found this, and so it's evolving so doggone fast.
They're finding so
Yeah.
much probiotic research. There's actually, we have a new probiotic that the research on it is for weight loss. And they've actually found that people that tend to stay skinny and eat what they want tend to have more of this bacteria in their gut. And it's called Akkermansia. And there's not many companies right now that have Akkermansia was one problem. So it's not the cheapest probiotic, but it definitely, we've had a few people started already because we've only had it for a month, maybe.
Maybe
month and a
6
half.
weeks.
Yeah.
And people are saying they're seeing a difference. I had a few people say over Christmas, they said, I ate everything I wanted and didn't gain. So that's a plus. So there is something called Akkermansia, and there's many women that want that one, but it's not necessarily for the vaginal health, it's more for the weight loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
But some of when you get into the bifidobacteriums, everybody's taking, the lactobacillus, everybody does that one. And, those are the lactic acid producers, and they're very beneficial for us, but the bifidobacterium are probably one of the ones that is so hard to get and that's often overlooked. Because if you look at a lot of the formulations, and they're going to have the lactobacillus, this, that, and the other, because there's thousands of those, literally. And they'll have those species pretty well covered, but they don't have those bifidobacteria.
Well, the two most common probiotics that we use, the Flora 5014 and the Flora 50B, both have the lactobacillus and the bifidobacteria in combination.
Right.
So they're actually both very good probiotics to take.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Question, how much does it cost for I think that's probably going to be a PSA.
Yes.
I would think so.
PSA and testosterone testing.
If you do hormone testing, if you just come in and do what they call male hormone testing, which actually has your PSA, your testosterone, whether it's free or not, because it's free and weekly bound, and it checks estrogen, and it's 125. If we add a PSA and testosterone to one of the panels that we have, then it's actually 75 in addition to the panel, because it already has a few of the tests that's done on the panel. So that's what it costs.
All right, another question, how does probiotics affect high blood pressure?
Several ways. One of the biggest things is giving us some of probiotics, a lot of times, if you think about our GI, everybody thinks our GI tract digests all our food for us. Not really. For instance, let's take the lowly blueberry. Great for you. How many times have you been told blueberries are so good for your health? And you know what? The human gut can't digest that stuff. Cannot break it down to where we can absorb it. The proanthocyanidins and so on, the good stuff. It takes those probiotics to do that. And the various probiotics that do that, again, back to your bifidobacterium, lactobacillus and so on, and some of the others, And when we look at that, what that does is gives us the antioxidants and things that are, from when you talk about blood pressure, it gives us the things that our body needs to maintain and control things like blood pressure, et cetera.
And one of the things the antioxidants do for blood pressure is it actually helps the elasticity of the arteries.
Right.
It keeps the stiffening of the arteries down. And anytime, that's why people, as they age, they tend to get higher blood pressure because those arteries get stiff.
Right.
And they don't give. And so you have to have more pressure to push the things through it. So there's a lot to probiotics. I mean, the more research that's coming out, it's good for just about everything.
Well, I take it, and I have high blood pressure,
And
so.
if it can, and if it can keep your weight down, and it can help with that, nothing's a magic weight pill, but if it can keep your weight down, that also helps high blood pressure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. It's 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're talking about detoxing today. We'll take a break, come back with our final segment, and also with this week's special. And welcome back. It's our final segment this morning. It's 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Another question from a viewer. How much water should a heart patient drink?
Depends on what kind of heart condition we're dealing with.
Right.
For instance, if it's somebody who maybe had a heart attack, some stents put in, otherwise they're doing pretty good, you want to stay well hydrated. If it's somebody that's got congestive heart failure, they can overload real easy.
Yeah, you can actually get too much water because you
Right.
can't pump it out. But usually the rule of thumb for water on anybody, any people, not just heart patients, is half your body weight in ounces. And that's kind of a good amount of water to drink to get a minimum. Now, if you exercise and you sweat a lot and you're outside and you're sweating profusely, then you need a little bit more water.
Right.
But if you're in congestive heart failure, then you can't get rid of the water properly, and then that will make you swell more.
Right.
So that just really depends on the person and how bad the problem is.
Right.
How many ounces are in one of those little bottles of water?
Depends. There's different size
20s.
bottles. There's 20 is kind of the regular size,
Okay.
and the little bit bigger one is about 32,
Okay.
usually.
Okay. I was just figuring out mine, so I need to drink about 5 bottles a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's typical. Yeah. That's
Usually
good.
I've been doing like about 3, so.
Okay.
You're getting
Increase
close.
it.
You're getting
Anyway.
close.
Yep.
Are there different ways to detox?
Yes,
There
there's
are.
a lot of different ways to detox. You'll actually see some of the people out there that have programs on detoxification. Now, I don't necessarily think you need every single detox every time you turn around, but you can detoxify from sugar, but basically you stop.
You just
stop
stop
eating
sugar, right.
Detoxify from alcohol. You always want something to help with liver. We use something called liver support and detoxification.
Right.
And it works so good because it has everything for phase 2 detoxification of the liver. So it has every different pathway, and that's really good to detoxify. Then you'll have people that do yeast detoxes if they have a lot of yeast, which we definitely see people that have a lot of yeast after the holidays because they're eating all the sugar and alcohol. And when you detoxify from yeast, you do want probiotics, and you do want to do stuff to kill fungus, like antifungal essentials. So there's so many different things you can do. And then we have our daily detoxification, which we definitely believe that people should detoxify daily.
Well, back to that liver, and about every minute you got about 1.5 liters of blood going through it. So, and that's a lot of your blood right there. So every minute it's going through there. So, and the liver's trying its best to detoxify. It's getting rid of the stuff. It's doing a lot of other stuff too, but it's trying its best to get you detoxified because things that shouldn't be there, the liver's trying to get rid of it. And so that's something that we've got to be doing basically daily.
Right.
And a lot of people that want to detox, like just after the holidays. Whoa, what's happening the other 360 something days?
Yeah, really.
Right.
It's like it's not good. I promise you that.
Well, let's go ahead and look at the special for this week.
Yeah, this week it is the Detox Greens, which is the thing that we suggest for daily detoxification. It is a combination of herbals that are detoxifying, and it also has all your greens, which chlorophyll from greens is very detoxifying. So it's kind of like a green drink. It is a green drink.
It is a green drink.
So it's a green drink, and it actually has fiber. It does have a little bit of probiotics, not really enough for where you don't have to take another probiotic, but it has some. So it is something that you can do daily. It is safe to do daily. It is safe for kids to do. It's just something that you can do every day. Mix up your little green drink, and that way you help get rid of the toxins that you've acquired. And we live in a toxic world, so we all have toxins that we're getting daily. Even if you don't have bad habits, even if you don't drink or eat too much sugar, you're breathing the air, you're eating the food out there, and there's chemicals and everything.
Yeah.
So would it be good to detox, say, on a monthly basis?
Daily.
We say daily.
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 We say daily. We
Like-
are ourselves. We actually take liver support and detox every day.
Every day.
And I think he brought that as well.
Yeah, I've got that. That's
we take
our-
daily because now we don't take the full dose of 4 a day. We take about 2 a day just because we don't have a liver
Right.
problem. But we don't want a liver problem, so we
true.
actually
We don't
take it
want one.
You're
daily.
getting ahead of the game.
We're trying to get ahead of the
Exactly.
game. Yeah.
We've always said prevention is the key.
Yeah.
And so try to prevent. That's why daily detoxification is important. And stop, like he said at the beginning of the show, stop putting toxins in.
Yeah.
If you keep eating packaged processed foods, you're going to keep getting lots of toxins.
What's funny is when somebody around here, or whatever, when I have my little handful of all my pills in the
Pills?
morning time
Yeah.
to take, they say, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing." That's why I take
right,
all these
exactly.
pills, because there's nothing wrong with me.
Right. That's why I do this.
Yeah,
right?
it is prevention.
Yeah. You know, when we start talking about packaged processed foods, and we hit that one a lot, and a lot of people think we're probably, okay, crazy. I'll admit it. Okay, but here's the thing. The stuff that's put in your food, the toxins that are put in your food, junk. It's not food, but it's put in your food. They're not regulated really. They're self-regulated. Now, we trust all the big food companies, don't we? Oh, yeah. So they're self-regulated. Oh, they wouldn't do anything bad to us just because they can make an extra dollar or so. But nobody knows the real number of how many additives there are in the American diet, because nobody can count that high, I guess. But they know at least 10,000. Think about that. Over 10,000, minimum 10,000 different chemicals that are not food, but it's in your food. That's scary.
That is scary.
Yeah, he's reading a book right now called
Ultra processed people.
Ultra Processed People.
Highly recommended to read. And the guy that wrote it's a doc out of England. You can get his English humor out of it too. He's kind of got that British humor, but he's really he dug in and found out just what all was going on in the UK, and of course he talks about the US as well, because he's kind of looked at both parties, and it's really kind of scary. It really and truly is.
Wow. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. We have a little less than 2 minutes left. If you have a question regarding detoxing or any other problems you might be having, please feel free to pick up the phone and give us a call. And I'd almost ask what the benefits of detoxing are, but we pretty well covered all that because of
Benefits is just you be healthier.
You're healthier.
Yeah, good health.
You feel a lot better.
Because everybody knows toxins increases your risk of cancer, and cancer is on the rise.
Yeah.
And that is what's so scary. I have more people come in that said, I was perfectly healthy, and then all of a sudden I have cancer. Well, they obviously weren't perfectly healthy. They probably had a lot of toxins. And so there's a lot of toxins out there, and you can be perfectly fine and have a lot of toxins until you are sick. So like I said, things like cancer is one of the things that's scary. Look at all the ads you see for lawsuits for chemicals that are put in the food or sprayed on the food. That just shows you what they can do to you.
Wow.
I think that's probably one of the big things.
That's why like the liver detox has a lot of stuff in it that's anti-cancer.
Yeah.
That's one reason we take it every day too. Not just to detoxify, but it's to detoxify, but also for cancer prevention.
It's called acromantia. Somebody asked what probiotic was talking about the weight thing.
Yep.
It's called
Akkermansia.
acromantia.
Okay.
Kind of a new one.
All right. That's all the time we have for this morning's show. Next week we're talking about
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
Yeah, why it's so important. Anyway, hope you have yourself a wonderful week. We will see you again next Monday morning for another live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.